Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality, certified pros at Angie.com.
How's your credit, sweetheart?
I don't have that good of a credit, Your Honor.
Okay. How do you get no good credit? How does that happen when your credit's no good?
This is the plaintiff, Desta Krupa. She says she took out a line of credit for the defendant, her neighbor, so she could buy Christmas presents, and now can't get her to pay her bills. The woman refuses to give her the Xbox and iPod she's paying for every month. She's learned it doesn't pay to be nice and is suing here and now for the full $571.67 she's owed. This is the defendant, Marie. She says the plaintiff let her use her line of credit to buy an Xbox for her son, and she was making payments every month. But something happened with the credit company, and they refused to accept her payments. She told the plaintiff to call them to straighten it out. She never did. And here they are. As far as the iPod goes, that was a gift. She's accused of saying nay to a neighbor. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $500 for harassment and emotional distress.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
Welcome,
Desta Krupa?
Yes.
You are suing your neighbor, Marie, and who is Edna to you?
My grandmother.
Okay, and Edna, for $571.67 that you say is the remaining balance owed for some electronics that you purchased on her behalf for her son for Christmas. Tell me what's going on.
Okay, in December of 2014, the defendant had come over to my house and
December of 2014?
Right.
Okay.
And saw a Geddington book, on my counter and wanted to order something for her son.
Saw what book?
She saw a Geddington book.
What's Geddington?
It's a catalog that you can order, like, any kind of electronics or anything. And she's wanted to order a few things for her son for Christmas. And I said, well, I'll let you do it as long as you pay for it.
Wait, she wanted to order it on your credit?
Right.
Why didn't you just tell her to buy it herself?
Well, at the time, she didn't have the money for her son, and I said, well, it would be payments, each month. And
This is a terrible idea.
I know. I said, as long as you pay and keep up the payments.
Yeah, as long as we have a name for people like you, though. We call them litigants. You end up in court trying to get the person. If the person is buying something she can't afford and she doesn't have her own credit to do it with, there's a reason. Right? There's a reason.
I know.
If other people won't extend credit to her, then why are you doing it?
Right.
How's your credit, sweetheart?
I don't have that good of a credit, Your Honor.
Okay. How do you get no good credit? How does that happen when your credit's no good? It's by not paying.
I know.
And so it's Christmas, right?
Right.
Oh, he's such a good boy, and you wanted him. And he helps you around the place, so you wanted him to have a good credit. Except for here's the thing. Mom needs to buy her son a gift mom can afford. You see? Because that's a terrible message to give the kid. You were paying payments on this for a while.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah. How much in payments did you pay?
From...
No. Give me a dollar figure. You want me to do the math, but I want you to do the math. How much did you pay?
$430.
You're not even sure, are you? Are you sure?
I'm pretty positive. I calculated it up, and it was I'm going to say
$430 on an item that costs what?
$537.67.
And yet the balance is 500 and something.
I was paying, like I said, consecutively, and my card was on file to take the payments out. I paid more than asked for, so I can hurry up and pay it out. And then in August,
that's barely hurrying it up.
And then
you were paying payments for how long?
November to August.
Right. And you're basically paying $40, $50, $60 every month.
90.
And the fees and the interest was about that much. I mean, do you not see this, folks, that it makes more sense to wait 5 months to buy it and have the money in your hand? It's called patience and saving, right? And then you can afford to buy it outright, because by the time everything's said and done, assuming you kept paying and weren't here, how much are you going to end up paying for a $500 Xbox and an iPod? You're going to be paying like $1,000-something, over double what it is that the thing costs. That math doesn't come into anybody's head. Oh, we gotta have the Xbox. Gotta have the Xbox. How old's your son?
He's 13. He wanted it, and other neighbors around the neighborhood buy him gifts as well because he is a good kid.
Buy him gifts as well? What are you saying, that this was not your gift to your son?
No, the Xbox was the gift to my son. The iPod was a gift from her, and I was paying on the Xbox until they said we won't accept the payment. So when they wouldn't accept the payment,
why wouldn't they accept your money?
For some reason, I have no idea, because I have consecutively had been paying, and then 1 month they wouldn't accept the payment.
All right, so say how are you going to prove that? How do I know you didn't just pull your card or close out your debit card and stop paying?
She should have that there. She should have the information, because it's her account.
Why don't you have the information?
Because it's her account, so I couldn't do nothing. If they wouldn't accept the payment, they're not going to accept talking to me.
Do you have any record proof from them that she tried to pay and they wouldn't accept it?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. I had called Geddington, and they said they would accept the money order as long as my account number was on it, and I handed her the card.
So she told you pay by money order. Why didn't you just pay by money order?
She waited 3 months before.
What difference does it make? On the third month, why didn't you pay by money order then?
She waited too long, so I felt that all the late fees and all that, she's older, more wiser, so she should have known it. She didn't want to ruin her account, so get on top of it, so there wasn't no late fees, and I can still
what's wrong with you? Why weren't you paying her bills for her?
Not her paying the bills, but her
Sweetheart, where there's a will, there's a way to pay, okay? If you can't pay one way, you pay another way. The fact that she didn't figure out a way around your payment problem is her problem?
No.
Because she's older and wiser.
No.
She's foolish because she extended your credit where nobody else would.
I had things to return to the store to upgrade, and she said she would take over the DSI and pay me
I have no idea what you're saying.
$150.
Stop, I don't know what you're saying. I had things to take to the store to upgrade. What does that mean?
He didn't want the things, no, he was willing to give up a tablet, DSI, and other electronics, a PSP. So I was bringing them to the store, because you can bring them to the store and you can get money for them.
In order to apply towards the Xbox?
To give money towards the Xbox.
Okay.
She said, don't give the DSI. She brought me to the store. She said,
what's
don't give.
What's a DSI?
It's a game, and I decided I would buy it from her, so I paid the first 3 payments at Geddington for her.
In order to recompense her for the DSI?
Right.
What's it called?
A DSI.
As in dog, S-I?
It's a DSI. It's another electronic.
It's another electronic,
It's like
but
we're going back and forth making deals, and the deals just didn't happen the way
I don't know what you're talking about. The only part of the deal that didn't happen was you finishing paying off. I don't know what you're saying. I'm looking at this. She agreed to pay your first 3 payments. She did. That's how your balance got lower. And then you made payments for a certain amount of time. And then one day, the way you chose to pay didn't work, and you didn't get on it and fix it. How old are you? When you say she's older and wiser, how old are you?
I'm 33.
Oh, okay. So you're not 10. So then there are other ways to make a payment. Okay? At worst, you should be going to her house and handing her the money. Okay? You should be figuring out something, and you're doing nothing to pay. And your defense is what? Because I can't hear it.
My defense was the cops told me not to do anything because it was in the court's hand, and I couldn't return her the merchandise.
Your defense on why it is you weren't paying before she had to file a lawsuit against you.
I was paying,
what?
and I have the proof right here that I was paying.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So your neighbor says, hard times, and can I borrow $500 or so, and they have bad credit. What'd you do at Christmas time?
I would like to, but I'm a college student, so $500 doesn't...
Suppose you were making a decent living, but still you had to work.
Okay, yes. If it's Christmas time, yes.
So are you doing it because you're going to give it to him, or you really expect to get paid back? See, I ask good questions sometimes. Well, think about it.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Probably not, just because giving money to people, friends or family complicates.
Okay, well, so they say to you, God, what a crappy guy you are during Christmas to hurt me like this way. Will you stand up to that?
Yeah, it's not my...
Okay.
I would say no, straight up giving them $500, but I'd be like, hey, let's go shopping. And then we could pick out the stuff, and the spending wouldn't get out of control.
Okay, 3 different views. I got an opinion about this going inside the courtroom.
When was your last payment?
In August. And
when did you file the lawsuit against you?
4 months after that.
Okay, and for all those months, September, October, November, December, 4 months later, for all those 4 months, of course, since you're supposed to pay, right? You took the money, the $50, $40, $60, and you put it in a drawer and you saved those 4 months and then handed her $200, right?
I tried handing her money at one point and it didn't get paid, so I got charged for late fees. That's why I had proof that I had to pay late fees.
You tried handing her money, and what happened when you tried?
She didn't pay the bill as she said.
You handed her money, or you tried handing her money?
I handed her money.
You said I tried handing her money. How much money did you hand her?
2 times $40.
Did she hand you 2 times $40?
No, she didn't. She didn't hand me any money. I kept asking her. I even had the late fees.
You have a neighbor who helps you out for Christmas. What is your defense, Ebenezer Scrooge? What is your defense? I'm having such difficulty. If your defense is, Judge, I can't afford it.
They even removed.
Can you just say it? If that's what it is?
I said I couldn't afford it. I was willing to return it, but the cops and her harassing me and doing all that to return the property in the other court, and she thought.
Wait. What do you mean return the property? She needs the money to pay it off. What is she going to do with an Xbox?
She told me if I returned the property that they would take it back.
Do you have somebody to use the Xbox?
They sell refurbished things.
Who wanted to buy it?
That was going to take over the payments, and I kept asking her.
And she wouldn't give it.
She would not give it back, and I had called the cops one day, and the cop
Who's Edna?
She's the one that has the Xbox.
Who's Edna?
My grandmother. It's her grandmother that has it now.
The Xbox?
Yes.
Yep.
Why doesn't the kid have it?
And the iPad.
Why doesn't the kid... iPod,
yeah.
Why doesn't the kid have it?
The kid has it. He's at my grandma's house.
The plot thickens. When did the kid go to grandma's house?
About 2 months ago, the cops let him come in my house and take everything out my house when they knew the property wasn't mine. And like she said, she did call the cops about this incident, and we were trying to handle it.
Well, how long had your son been out?
Out of where?
Of your home. When he came back with the cops.
He's just been out the last 8 weeks.
Who arranged for him to come back with cops? He's 13. Your grandmother?
No, the cops handed him.
Did the courts take your child away from you?
The cops gave my daughter the house keys to my house, and my daughter and my son went in the house and took the Xbox and
How did the cops have your house keys?
Because I was arrested.
What were you arrested for?
I think all that is irrelevant. It has nothing to do
I'll be
with
the judge of that, won't I? What were you arrested for?
Domestic abuse.
Of?
Slapping my son.
The 13-year-old?
Yes.
Was the son taken away from you as part of a family proceeding?
I believe so, yes.
Have they decided the custody issue?
There's a temporary custody going on.
In the hands of your grandmother?
No, not my grandma. DCF. How can I give back something that I don't even have?
You could have given it back before that, and you don't have to give it back. What you have to do, that was one way out for you didn't take. Paying her is one way out for you have no proof of taking. Writing a check is one way out you didn't do. Money order is another way out you didn't do. And then now the kid has it. Yeah, now you can't give it back. So I guess you should have taken advantage of that when you could have. You have a counterclaim against her for $250 for harassment and $250 for emotional distress. Tell me about that.
As my son would come out of school, she would harass him. Every time I leave my house or get out of my car, she would come harass me. She came to my house demanding.
What does harassing mean to you? Demanding payment?
Just yelling. No, nothing have to do with payments. Just yelling about how bad of a person I am, chasing me to my friend's house, arguing in my neighbor's house, calling my landlord, bringing the whole neighborhood involved into this, kicking my car, throwing stuff at my car.
Back it up. She kicked your car?
Yes, she did, Your Honor.
Did you call the police?
No, I didn't. I'm not going to sit there and go back and forth and call the police because I knew she was already taking me to court. So why make the situation? They're just going to waste their time.
Why should you get $500 for harassment and distress?
I had to see my psychiatrist more because of her harassing me.
Can I ask you a question? Mm-hmm. Obviously, if you had $600, you would have paid this off to stop the bleeding, right?
Right.
You don't have $600.
No, because I'm on disability.
If you don't have $600, maybe you shouldn't be loaning. I know, I made a mistake. I know, fool. Based on what I have heard, I am ruling in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of the $571.67. And on your counterclaim against her for harassment and emotional distress, here's a surprise, 0. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
Well, first out of the courtroom, the defendant is right here to tell us what she thinks of the verdict.
Judge Miliano is awesome, and she knows what's best.
So how'd you let this happen?
No comment.
You do appreciate that she was there for you when you needed something, wanted something, and she had the cash in hand to help you out. You know how this looks?
Obviously horrible.
So correct. How is it not what it looks like? You get the last word here.
I don't have nothing to say.
All right, so step on in here. It took a judge to bail you out of this situation. Why were you in it in the first place?
You know what? It's just trying to be nice to people and help them out, but I think I learned my lesson the hard way. But I'm really, happy with the judge's decision.
You know what the lesson is? What's the lesson?
What's the lesson? Don't lend money.
Don't help out with credit anymore either.
Out, be nice to them, and, that's what you get.
Well, don't lend money.
Not everybody's like that, but,
I've always had a good heart, and...
Don't lend money that you don't have.
That's true.
Right.
Harvey?
Credit card, yeah.
Okay, Kurt, look, I gotta say, what I would do is, I would do it if I really cared about these people and wanted to help them. I would have no expectation of getting paid back. And that's the way you need to do it going in. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie, and one thing I've learned is that you buy a house, but you make it a home. Because with every fix, update, and renovation, it becomes a little more your own. So you need all your jobs done well. For nearly 30 years, Angie has helped millions of homeowners hire skilled pros for the projects that matter. From plumbing to electrical, roof repair to deck upgrades. So leave it to the pros who will get your jobs done well. Hire high-quality certified pros at Angie.com.
This is the plaintiff, Marvel Lewis. She says she thought about renting an apartment from the defendant, gave a deposit, but then the very next day changed her mind, and now the sneaky, underhanded defendant won't refund her money. What the defendant's doing to her isn't right. She feels she has a pretty good case today and is suing for the return of the $3,600 she's owed. This is the defendant, Eli Mayer. He says the plaintiff signed all the proper documents, leases, and broker's fee papers, then changed her mind because she found another place. Everyone and anyone knows she's not due a refund, but she thinks she's above the law, thinks he did something wrong, which he knows he didn't, and owes nothing. He's accused of not treating a lady right.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff gave the defendant a deposit on an apartment, changed her mind very quickly, can't get her money back. But the defendant says she signed the documents, so tough. It's the case of the dotted line dilemma.
Thank you, Douglas. Marva Lewis, you are suing Eli Mayer and Vista Holdings, LLC, and Sprint Realty Incorporated for $3,600 that you paid them, and you want returned to you. Tell me what happened.
Yes, Your Honor. The last week in January, I met the defendant through a real estate broker lady. She called me and she said, because previously she known I've been looking for an apartment. So she called me and said her boss has an apartment and would I be interested in looking at it? So I said yes. So I went over and she showed it to me.
Okay, so you went to see her in a professional basis and said, I need an apartment, and then she showed you this apartment.
Yes.
Okay.
So when we came back then, she said, you're going to meet my boss. So another day she called me and she set up for me to meet with Mr. Eli. So then he asked me how many people going to be there, and he said $1,800 paid for the deposit. He said if I want to move by the 1st, I said that's too rushy. I did not get.
The 1st of February.
Yes. So I said no. So I said like by the 15th. He said okay.
Did he prorate the rent so you wouldn't have to pay one?
No, he said from the 15th to the 15th of March.
Yeah, that's prorating. Okay. I mean, right. You didn't have to.
Right.
Okay. You got a chance to move in later.
Yeah. So then 1st of February I came. He said just bring the money. So I know that you still want the apartment, and so I bring $2,800 on the 1st of February.
Did you sign anything?
No.
Okay.
So he told his assistant to give me a receipt.
Okay. Do you have the receipt?
Yes.
May I see it?
And on the 2nd, I came back with the balance of $800.
Okay.
And he wasn't there, so he told his assistant to give me the lease.
So on the 1st, you gave $2,800, and the note says broker's fee and deposit. How much was broker's fee and how much was deposit?
Well, it's $1,800 broker's fee and $1,800 for the deposit.
Okay. So the next day you come back and you pay the other $800.
That's for the
which is for the deposit.
Right.
Okay. And so now you've paid broker's fee and deposit.
Yes.
Okay. And then what happens?
Then when the assistant gave me the receipt, I noticed she has non-refundable, so I asked her what's up with that. Because the first receipt didn't state non-refundable. We did not discuss anything about that.
Well, why would you think it was refundable? A broker's fee and a deposit. Why would you think it was refundable?
No, but I never gone through any business where you're going to write non-refundable on a receipt.
Did you sign a lease?
That day, the last
day. The second you signed a lease?
Yeah, the second.
Okay. Do you have the lease?
Yes.
Let me see it. Do you have the lease? May I see? Hand me the copy. Thank you. All right, I got it. So you signed a lease that starts on February 15, 2016 and ends on February 14, 2017. All right, and there's supposed to be 2 other people. Are Egbert Charles or Sally Lewis here?
Yes.
Are those the 2 individuals who came with you?
Yeah.
All right, and then they did not sign it, but you did?
Yes.
Okay, and what happens? After you pay $3,600, what happens?
I just feel bad. I didn't trust him because I did not understand how he could tell her to put non-refundable on the $800 receipt. And I just had a bad feeling, so I don't trust him.
Did you guys find a different place?
No.
Did they ever see the place?
No, only one of them had saw.
Let me hear from you.
The agent Kiki showed them a couple of apartments for some
All
time.
of them or just her?
For her and
Did they also go on apartment visits or no?
Yes.
Okay.
They went to see a couple of apartments and
Kiki works for you?
Yes. Kiki is an advisor. She is working for the landlord and the broker. By this and she acknowledged it of acknowledging.
She signed a broker's fee agreement?
No, she signed that Kiki is working for
the landlord and not her.
For the landlord,
Got
yes.
it. Go on.
And she signed also that she will be responsible for 1 month's rent whenever we find her an apartment.
Where do you want me to see the part about 1 month's rent? I mean, aside from the law. Where else?
This is here.
On that document? Okay.
Yes.
I understand that by signing below, I understand that I am responsible for the full broker's fee. This is the broker's fee, which is equivalent to 1 month's rent. Got that. What about the month's rent? Was there somewhere else besides the lease? Because there doesn't need to be. I'm just curious.
The 1 month's rent is equal for 1 month's rent.
Oh, okay. Now I see. All right, let me ask you a question. She signs a lease, so you believe that she's going to take the apartment, right? So when does she tell you she's not going to take it, and does she give you a reason why?
So if you put a deposit down in an apartment, change your mind like that, can you get your money back?
I honestly think you wouldn't be able to get your money back because you signed on a dotted line, and that's pretty much a legal document.
Well, what do you say, Daisy?
No.
Why?
It's not refundable, probably.
Is it refundable ever if you do it really quickly and you're not really changing the landlord's circumstances?
I don't think so, but I have to think more about it.
Oh, do think about it and get back to me, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Going inside the courtroom.
When she came to the office, she loved the apartment, and I asked her who going to move in. She told me her husband and another sister. I told her, before we do any paperwork, let's make sure that your husband come and see the apartment, and he liked it. And she insisted that it's not necessary, just her alone, it's sufficient to approve for him the apartment. I told her no, he must have seen the apartment, and then he can sign a lease. Kiki made an appointment with them, with her husband. He came, saw the apartment, they loved it.
Why just the husband? What about the sister?
And the sister. The sister saw the apartment with her.
Did you both see the apartment? No. Either of you see the apartment?
I see the apartment.
Okay, you didn't see the apartment. No. All right, come on up, sister. What happened here? How come you guys didn't take the apartment?
I didn't see the apartment, but my sister said she don't need the apartment anymore because it's under construction. moving in on the 15th, so she said she don't want the apartment because he recognized that the landlord is not the landlord that she really wanted to be.
Folks, on what planet are you living that you think you can sign a lease, okay, and somehow that makes him a bad guy because he won't return the money? Come on.
But
you guys you've been on this earth longer than 15 years, right? You understand. You're not children. I don't understand what really happened here. Why did you guys not move in together? What's the real reason? Sister, what's the real reason that you guys didn't move in together?
Well, to make the monthly payment, we all have to agree with the payment. So to get the payment, we have to be on one term, and then if one in needs...
Your sister took a little liberty.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, have a seat. I know that. It marvels me that you took it this far and actually filed a lawsuit. Because what makes you think that somehow you are not touched by the laws of contracts like everybody else is? You signed a contract. Why did you do that without her seeing the place and being all in on it? In fact, you shouldn't have signed anything unless everybody was signing something.
But that's what he said before. But when I got there the second day, it's like he rushed me on with
nobody's rushing you. No. Nobody's rushing you. You're paying $800. You paid $2,800 yesterday. You're signing stuff. You're all excited about a new place. And then it turns out that 1/3 of the decision makers wasn't in on it. You know, maybe you were a little precipitous, right? Maybe you got a little overeager. But there's a consequence to that. You can't just turn around and bail. I mean, because there's a broker's fee involved that you signed saying you understood that. And you signed a lease, which means you broke the lease. When did you fill in the apartment?
We're just filling up the apartment actually now. I made the exception for her because Kiki, she was a new agent. So I went along and to agree.
Which means that you lost 2 weeks of rent agreeing to rent to her to begin with.
Yes.
Okay. But you guys were under construction, so maybe you could use those 2 weeks?
The apartment was beautiful, finished.
Okay. By what date?
On the date of when she signed the lease. Because when her husband
It doesn't matter. What it had to be was beautiful and finished on the 15th, and you bailed before then. So it's not that the place wasn't ready for you. It's not that the place was under construction. It's exactly what I suspected, which is there's 3 decision makers, and one of them took the liberty to speak for everybody else. And there's a consequence to that. I'm sorry for you, but there's a consequence to that. Verdict for the defendant.
That noise probably didn't sound too good to you as that gavel came down right there. What's your reaction to this?
Justice was not served.
Why not?
And it's an unfortunate situation that they have big teeth like that, ripping off poor people. That's all I have to say.
What about the contract? I mean, you signed the lease, and what's the judge supposed to do about that?
I did not see the contract that he said I signed.
The lease?
I signed the lease, but I didn't see the contract that he said, the other thing that he said I signed.
Mm-hmm. Well, once you sign a lease with a non-refundable deposit, what's supposed to happen?
What?
Yeah?
It's the same day that everything took place. I don't know what he's talking about. It's the same day.
Okay. You got a better place to live now?
Don't worry about that. It's okay.
All right. Okay. Head right down. All right, she's pretty angry at you. How you feel about this outcome?
I feel the outcome was right, basically.
You're in the legal, you have the law on your side, but maybe you could have given back her money.
We lost them a 1 month rent. The agent received already they spent the money already, and she was happy for her renting the apartment. It was her first deal, and I couldn't do it.
No. Harvey?
Okay, Kurt, deposits are not automatically non-refundable, but the landlord can withhold it if he can show, look, I gave up the opportunity to rent to somebody else, and then you're on the hook. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Angara Rao. He says he dropped off his expensive 2-piece suit and a shirt at the defendant's dry cleaners. And when he went to pick it up, he was told his stuff was gone. Gone? Yes, gone. The defendant's a rude businesswoman. She lost his property, won't compensate him for it, and he's looking forward to his day in court and getting his $1,355.97 back. This is the defendant, Alyssa Moore. She says the plaintiff picked up his clothing, then returned to her store with his cockamamie story that he was there to pick up his clothes. That's right. She feels the plaintiff's running some sort of scam because his clothes were scanned out of her system from the original ticket. Nice try, buddy, and good luck in court today. She's accused of losing it.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff took his expensive suit and shirt to the cleaners, and it went missing. But the defendant says he picked up the stuff, so it's a scam. It's the case of Brooks Brothers.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Angara Rao, you are suing dry cleaners represented by Alyssa Moore. You're the manager?
Yes.
Okay. For $1,355.97 for clothes that, according to you, they lost or gave to another customer. What's going on?
Good morning, Judge.
Morning.
On January 6th, I dropped my two-piece suit and a shirt at the dry cleaners. I was told to come back next week and pick them up. So they told, they gave me the claim receipt and asked me to come back next week.
May I see it?
Yes, please.
Okay. Go ahead.
And I could not go back for about 2 to 3 weeks from then. And I went back on the 29th of January. And the defendant there specified that she searched for a couple minutes and told me that she couldn't find the suit. They'll call me once they find it. I never received a call back. I went back on the following weeks, February 2nd and February 3rd, to drop more clothes. And I asked them about my suit, and she said it's already scanned out, checked out in the system, and you or someone from your family might have picked it up already. And I told them.
Is there anybody in your family who picks up your dry cleaning?
No, ma'am. The dry cleaning is close to my work. It's about 30 miles away from where I live, and there's no one else that can pick up the clothes on behalf of me.
So what do you think happened?
I do not know.
Just gave it away to somebody else? Your records show it was scanned out, right?
Yes.
First of all, what kind of clothes are we talking about?
A suit, two-piece suit, and a Nautica shirt.
A Nautica shirt. Oh, look at you, so handsome in that suit.
Yes, that's.
And your son too, and your family, your beautiful family.
So that's a special suit that I brought it for my brother-in-law's wedding.
Look how nice he looks in that suit. What happened? I mean, you don't seriously think he got the suit and then he decided to cook this whole thing up and waste everybody's time? I mean, you know.
Honestly, though, sometimes we've had customers who have come in and been like, they'll give me a ticket and I'll look in the system and it's already been picked up. And I'll be like, listen, go home, check your closet.
Right.
Maybe it's there.
Right.
And then
I'm one of those customers. I mean, not with you, but yeah, I know. I gave it. And then I find it in my luggage in a zipper. I got it.
Exactly. And they'll come back later and say that they found it.
Sheepishly that they found it, right.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he can copy
But he's,
this
it's kind of different because this is kind of a very specific drop-off and pickup. This is a situation where he brought you two things. He brought you a two-piece suit and he brought you a shirt. And then a week later, he goes to pick up the two things, the two-piece suit and the shirt. So it kind of, doesn't it smell to you like maybe you guys accidentally let it go to somebody else?
No, there's no way that we have the system is you either come in and you bring me a ticket and I scan the ticket and bring up your account and that's how I find it.
Or I tell you that I forgot my ticket and what?
And you give me your phone number and that's how we scan
Or you guys, there is one other possibility. You guys made a mistake and put that clothing with the wrong phone number.
No, because
Why not?
It's under his account.
Do you think he has his suit?
I think he has it somewhere, yes.
Okay, no, wait. So when he dropped off a suit and a Nautica shirt,
yes,
right? Do you think he made a mistake and it's a different suit? Because then you'd have the other suit to give back to him, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It doesn't matter
Okay, so wait a second. So the only thing you could possibly be saying, because it's very hard to make a mistake in this facts of this case. In my facts of my case, you can make a million mistakes. There's 100 things going in, there's other family members picking up. You think something was in it, but it wasn't. But this case is just a suit and a shirt. That's all it is. And then he's very methodical. It's by his office. He's the only guy who does it. And then he goes back and picks up the suit and says, what? So the only if he has it, he's a liar. Trying to make up a case in order to be a thief, which is possible. I see that every day. But that has to be the only way because he can't be mistaken. Not on something so specific and singular as one suit and a Nautica shirt, right? Isn't it less likely for the client to be confused when it's something this singular and he's the only one picking up?
Yes.
Okay, so he has to be just trying to be a thief, right? Does it strike you as that? Because the other possibility, when you're saying to me, we can't make a mistake. Of course you can make a mistake.
Absolutely.
Okay, and when you make a mistake, how do you make a mistake?
Do dry cleaners lose lots of clothes?
Absolutely.
So it's not just me thinking that, right?
Not at all.
Okay, what do you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, every time I've called the dry cleaner and said, you lost my stuff, it was in my closet, going inside the courtroom.
When you guys make a mistake, how do you make a mistake? How is it possible in this foolproof method for an error to be made?
Well, I'm not saying it's foolproof. I'm saying the mistake
No,
of...
can someone just answer what I'm asking, which is, give me an example of a mistake that has happened in the past.
You bring in 10 items, and perhaps we misplaced
The
one.
only way for you to make an error is if the tag falls off the thing.
Well, yeah, but that's if an individual item is misplaced in some way. Does that happen once in a while? It does. Once in a while, it does happen. But we're not talking about that here. We're talking about a customer who brought in 3 pieces, received a receipt for it, and our computer records indicate someone picked it up. It's checked out of the system.
Show me your computer records that, quote, indicate that should be so trustworthy to me.
Sure. Now, that's the record of all this customer's...
Yeah, so say you, but he says he didn't pick it up. That's why I'm trying to figure out. He has his ticket, so you clearly didn't collect his ticket. So the only way that this got scanned out to somebody is if somebody gave his phone number to you. What if you guys make a mistake and then just take his items, scan it out for sure, because I know you don't have it. If you had it, we wouldn't be here. You'd have found it already. So scan it out and you gave it to the wrong customer. But what if that customer was picking up a bunch of stuff? And then somebody just actually, that's where the error could occur, is somebody grabs the wrong item because they're human.
The only way that I can scan it out is if his account is up on the screen. If I were helping another customer and I were to scan his order, an error message would pop up on the screen that says invoice da-da-da-da-da is invalid. And I won't be able to scan it out unless it's under his account.
But yeah, it'd be under his account. But so what? The person in front of you doesn't have a ticket. You're not, you're handing out clothes to the people who are coming, you or anybody else. And so you grab something and you accidentally grab the wrong thing.
If we gave it to the wrong person...
I mean, that's happened. All of a sudden, we pick up a bunch of stuff. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, I look at it, I go, I am not that size.
Well, yeah, I mean, anything's possible, Judge. But had this happened exactly the way you're describing it a month ago, and someone got 3...
By now, somebody should have said, unless they're a jerk.
They would have brought it back.
Unless they either haven't gotten around to it or they're just a jerk and wanted to keep it.
I mean, anything's possible, but how likely is it?
I don't know. Do you have the receipt for the stuff that you're talking about?
I don't have the receipt.
So how are you picking figures out of the sky? How do you know?
The suit was about $500. I got it for a deal for $300 about a few years ago. Based on that, it is an estimate. It's not an actual figure. That's the amount I paid when I bought the suit.
Right. First of all, I believe you. I don't think that you're a scam artist trying to,
Thank you, Judge.
And I think that you guys are very reputable, so don't think it's not that I'm disbelieving you. It's that I believe you do not have it. And if you do not have it, a mistake somehow in this
That's correct, Judge.
System was made. All right? But you are sorely mistaken if you think that you can come to court and ask for $1,003. Well, you can ask for whatever you want. This is America. Right. But you can't get $1,355.97 over this kind of a mistake. You would never get $1,000 for loss of time. Okay, because I would be rich if that were the case, with the amount of time that is wasted in front of me. All right? What you would get is not what you paid for something 3 years ago. It's the depreciated value of the item at the time of the loss. Do you understand the difference?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, and you would have to be able to prove what the item was, what you spent originally for the item in order for me to kind of calculate that. So when you don't even have that much, you kind of leave me in a little bit of a guessing game.
Right, Judge.
While I'm doing my guessing game, I have a question for you. Are they good cleaners?
They're good cleaners.
Do you want to keep using them, or are you done with them?
No, ma'am. After the experience, I would not be using them.
All right. Because I was going to get all Monty Hall on everybody and kind of let's make a deal on it.
I agree that they're good cleaners. They gave me, I've been using for past 4 months.
Okay, but if you don't want to keep using them, then there's no reason for me to get creative. Okay. I'm going to award you the depreciated value of your items, which I find to be, that means what you could get if you sold it, a used 3-year suit. That's depreciation. That's what that means, okay? Which I find to be $75 for the suit and a very generous $20 for a 3-year-old used Nautica shirt. That's $95 plus your dry cleaning fee, which didn't get you anywhere. And that's $100.97 plus your court costs. Verdict for the plaintiff. Good luck, folks.
Thank you, Judge.
Well, after a spirited defense, the gavel comes down for the plaintiff. Step in a little closer. What's going through your mind here coming out on the losing end of this?
I mean, we try our best not to make mistakes, so.
So you taking responsibility for this one? Yet?
In the end, we always do. The lesson here is that it pays to tell the truth every day. That's all.
Well, you take responsibility, but do you admit responsibility now for this?
We don't think we lost it. We really don't. We think we gave it to the customer. But at this point, it's.
You lost the customer, though.
We did, and that's.
Was it worth it?
It wasn't. It's never worth it to lose a customer. Never, and we try every day to avoid that.
And the lesson is?
Try not to make mistakes.
Oh, okay. All right down there. We'll try. All right, so step on in here and. All right, so you satisfied with what you came out?
Yes, sir, I am. And, truth prevails, justice prevails. So, thank the judge. The reason why I'm here is not because I was wanted for money, but the way they never acknowledged the fact and they never agreed or apologized for what they did. Because they kept telling me that I picked it up when I had never picked up the suit.
So this was not about the money for you. You wanted to stick it to them, didn't you?
It was not exactly that, but it was at least they should acknowledge the customers and kind of treat customers.
That's why you're not
nicely.
going back there.
Right, absolutely.
Okay. All right, Harvey.
Okay, I know this sounds incredibly unfair, but it is a truism. You do not get replacement costs for stuff, only the depreciated value.